Hi, everybody. My name is Etoh. I'm with Dignitas, and today I'm actually joined by TSM FTX, a team that has been really up and coming in the women's scene as of late, or not even up and coming, just up in general. They've been doing wonderful. And I'm joined by four of the five members today: CATH, Athena, ZOE, and MLE. And first, starting with you, CATH, instead of actually introducing yourself, I want you to introduce your teammates. Just I want to have a nice little unique approach on it. So, CATH, tell me what Zoe's like, where they got started, what they're like a teammate or anything like that.
So we found Zoe. She played in one of those Valorant tournaments alongside with her friend Emily, and we were really impressed by her performance. She has a CS:GO background. We decided to give her a tryout, and it really worked out that way.
Well, I hope that they're a great teammate as well. I mean, would you say what would you say their strengths as a teammate are? Just kind of
I think
so you
her
can gas
biggest
them up.
strength, yeah, her biggest strength is her aim. She's like a crazy player. She's an IGL too, so she has like really great game sense, and it just adds up to like the whole team chemistry and just works out in the end.
And it's just kind of more touching on the fact that women's Valorant has been popping off as of late. Lots of unsigned teams, sure, but also lots of orgs starting to join. And I'm just wondering if that has sort of created any pressure for your team. You're playing for this massive organization that just got this ludicrous sponsorship from like FTX. Do you feel like any pressure from having played under this banner where you have some very dedicated fans? Like, or are you just treating it like it's any other team? I think the one to answer this probably would be CAF as team captain.
Yeah, so for me, I think it's actually relieving pressure than adding pressure.
Mm.
We have like the opportunity, like I said before. Sorry, my dog is barking in the background.
No worries.
It actually allowed us to have the opportunity of like having a coach work with us and like a manager
Hmm.
and all these resources that we have in the background. So I feel like it's just for me as an IGL, it's just relieving a lot of pressure because I don't have to worry about, you know, fixing micromanaging too much, and I just can't leave that charge to Zach or coach.
Right.
But there is some pressure, of like performing well, but I think it's just being overshadowed by all the positive things that comes with having TSM um, as an org. Yeah.
Has there been any big names from these teams that you feel like could compete on TSM's level?
I think for me, one of the most standout players recently that we've competed against was Maddie. I know she
Yeah.
signed to Gen G as a content creator, I believe, but she is like way, way more than that, dude. Like she dropped like 30 kills on us. She destroyed us. And I think like in general, just watching from her streams, like her personality is definitely one of those. It's like a hardworking person. And I can tell that she is thirsty for the trophies and she's really hungry for the wins and competing. And like I really admire her playstyle, and she usually plays duelist, and she's like
Hmm.
really nuts. I mean, Emily's still my favorite duelist. Don't get me wrong, but she's definitely up there for me.
Again, kind of pivoting back to the tournament, we're reaching the end of this interview. I'll just ask a couple of more questions. I wanted to once again kind of ask you, Kath, again as a leader of TSM FTX, how has your team been preparing for game changers? Has it been just Sakura Cup? Have you been trying to study the other big teams that are going to be heading into this, trying to counter strat them, or has it literally just been trying to develop your own game and then, formulating that style, so to speak?
I think in the past weeks we've definitely focused more on ourselves, and we rewatch all the time our own VODs from the scrim, like from the yesterday scrims. We rewatch pro VODs. We really focus like on ourselves more, I think, and fixing like some mistakes, like in terms of like playing together, calming more. What can we do in XYZ situations? Etc. I think like when it comes to like counter stratting, yeah, we watch like the VODs that are available to us, and but I mean, there's not. I'd rather, in terms of like IGLing, I'd rather just focus
On your own
on
style?
our team, yeah, and not really focus on I want to play our game, and don't want to get confused and get lost into playing the other team's game. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that mentality. Just a couple of more questions. I think this one pretty much anyone can kind of chime in, but one thing I really think is important to ask is what can the esports community as a whole do better to support the women's scene? Would it be, on something that tournament organizers could do, just your regular average everyday Joe? Like, what can people do to help support the scene? I think anyone can chime in if they have an answer for this one.
I kind of have one. I think like it really comes down to the basics. Like if you play a ranked game with like a girl in your team, and she's getting harassed just because she's speaking on the mic, I think there's nothing wrong with you standing up in a way and like simping in a way, but in terms of like in lack of a better word, I feel like it just really starts that way, and we just need to create a safer space for women to feel comfortable playing and just like being out there and just being a gamer, because at the end of the day we all just here to have fun and play games and share fun times with each other. So yeah, if you see someone getting harassed, like there's like no shame in like standing up for what's right or wrong. So
final question I want to ask, and again this is going to be for everyone going around the table, is what advice do you have to all the women competitors out there who are excited to compete at that top level? What advice, like if you could go back to yourself a year past, what advice would you give yourself? Kath, again, starting with you. I know you've been kind of answering a brunt of these questions. But final one, I swear.
What advice I would give to myself a year prior to this? My God, go with the flow. I think I was trying to maybe like as a competitor trying to overthink my mistakes and trying to fix them as soon as they came in, but I think like it was just like a learning process from like transferring to CS:GO to Valorant. I've been playing CS:GO for 15 plus years, so it was definitely like a hassle to transfer from CS:GO to Valorant, but just going with the flow. Just go with the flow, man. That's it.
I like it. How about you, Athena?
I think for me, the biggest thing is a lot of girls I feel like are kind of scared to reach out and to find other girls to play with or find like, anyone to play with. It doesn't have to be girls. I feel like I would just give the advice of like, don't be scared. Like, just jump into it. Like, I promise. Like, no one cares if you bottom frag. Like, no one cares if you threw your molly wrong. Like, no one cares if you mess up your lineup. Like, you just have to practice. And as long as you just keep playing and keep grinding, like, you're gonna get to where you want to go. And that's what like all the girls in this scene so far have done. Like CATH, for example, like she just said, she's been playing CS for 15 years. She's been grinding, okay? And that didn't just happen from her just by, one day logging into CS and, she signed. And no, like she grinded and she played. And I think like a lot of the fears of being picked on for being a girl and stuff really makes a lot of girls hesitate to scrim or to practice or to find a team or to try out. And I think that the biggest advice I give is like, just don't be afraid. Like, just do it. Trust me. Like, you're a boss ass bee. Like, you got this. I believe in you. And yeah, like hard work always pays off. You'll always see it. And as long as you're just, you're like kind to everyone and just stay humble and everything, like you'll go down like a good road for sure.
I actually love that advice, and it makes me want to be a boss ass bitch as well. So I echo those sentiments. I like them. Zoe, do you have any advice?
Honestly, yeah. So if I were to tell myself a year ago what I can improve upon, it'd just be myself. And in terms of that, it's just, if I'm that serious about being competitive, do more outside of the game, meaning watching VODs, learning, or maybe even working on your movement in game, kind of stuff like that, right?
You've certainly done that.
Theoretically, I'm still, I'm kind of a nobody. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I nobody knows me, and now I am relatively well known just because of TSM. I didn't get here, and same can kind of be said for MLE. We didn't get here, by sheer luck. We constantly played in Valorant's tourneys back from October, Like I've known her since October on our first team, and we've stuck together because I knew the potential she had. We proved it. And this last one we played, the Galorant's Proving Grounds, we showed what we had. Emily was literally the top fragger of the entire tournament. She kind of dunked on everyone, and I was right behind her. And I think that's what got our names out. So you just got to work on yourself. You got to keep putting in that, be the best you can, is what my dad told me. So, and that's what I've been doing since day one.
I love that advice. Work on yourself, go with the flow, compete. I love it. Good advice. And to close us out, Emily, what are your advice, or what is your advice, excuse me, to anyone who's trying to join the scene and become a top competitor like you?
Oh, that's so weird to think about. By far, if I could go back a year and tell myself something, it would be not to listen to what other people say about you, especially in a negative way, because I've had people who told me that I would never make it, like as a duelist, or that I was a bad duelist, whatever. And then now I'm here, and it's like, it got bad to the point where the Proving Grounds, the Gen G tourney,
Right.
that was gonna be the last tourney I would play in, because I was just kind of tired of it. But then I got a DM and trials, and now I'm here. So just don't let what other people say about you affect you in any way. Like, if you have the grind, if you want to do it, then do it.
You are just such a positive team, and it's been amazing to talk to you. I think we have our ducks in a row. TSM FTX, thank you so much, seriously, for letting me talk with all of you. You have been wonderful to all me and get to know about. Any final thought before we actually officially close this out? Or is it time to watch some
Yeah,
game
just
changes?
one more thing. Like, to any girls that want to make it in the scene, don't listen to any of the haters. If you want something and you set yourself a goal, please work towards that goal and just forget about anything that distracts you from that, and just go for it. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Mic drop.
Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Well, we need to go
Yeah.
ahead and make sure this VCT Game Changers is sponsored by TED Talk, but until we figure that out, thank you again all so much. I hope to see you all succeed in Game Changers, because it has been amazing talking with y'all. Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.